Okay, so we're going to use matrices. We can use the matrices to set up information. These are pretty easy, this thing. So the table shows the types of membership of a local gym, the number of males and females enrolled in each class. It says construct a matrix to display this information. So it's as simple as it sounds. You just have to pop the data into, and we might say this is male and females, and we just pop the data into a square matrix. So we might have to do this, and that's, as I said, someone asked me the other day, what would matrices be used in, and a lot of like data analysis or statistical things they'd be using. All right, and so then we might have the gym membership types like that. Okay, so that you can just display it like that. Sometimes they'll ask you to display the information in a particular style of matrix. So if we're looking at this one, what's the order I have put this matrix? I've created this one. An order of what? Two rows by 3. Okay? When you write the order, you must write it like that, with the curved brackets and the 2 and the multiplication sign or cross by 3. Okay? That's got to be written that way. All right, so then it says we've got these other things where this is what we call a network diagram. So when we have like what we say points or vertex, and we have the lines, the edges in between. So sometimes we create this information. So we've got this information of all these points, whatever there was 4 points, and how they connect to each other. And we can put this into a matrix form. So when you're representing a network diagram and in matrix form, how many points there are is the number of rows and columns you're going to have in a matrix. So you can see your matrix will always be a square one. So what you do is we're going to have a square matrix, and we've got the points, the 3 points that are there, or vertices, which we're going to do. And then you've got them there. So what you want to do is we're going to give it a 1 if they're linked together. So between, and you can see, so between, say, 1 and 2, we can see a line. So what we're going to say, between 1 and 2, there's a 1 there. And you can also do it between the other way as well. Between 2 and 1, there's also a line. So, and then if you go through, so if I'm just going to look at 1 and do all of 1, so 1 is connected to 2 and connected to 4. Because it's not connected to 3, I'll put a 0. And if you see it connected to itself, it would be a loop going around. So this one doesn't have a loop, so we're going to say it's a 0 there as well. Then if I go along with 2, 2 is connected to 1, not connected to itself, is connected to 3, and also connected to 4. If I go through 3, is only connected to 2 and not connected to anything else. And 4 is connected to 1 and connected to 2 and nothing else. So there I go. There I'm setting up a matrix. So say, for example, I draw another one. So I might call this point A, point B, and then I might have point C. So I might have it looking like this. Okay, so that's a network diagram. So if I was to set up a matrix of this information, I would have A, B, C, and it's going to be a square, A, B, C. Now, back to A, there's 1. See that loop? It's going around and it's going back to itself. So there's 1. And between A and B, there's 1, and there's no path between A and C. If I go between, so an A and B, we said, or B and A, there's 1. Now, between B and itself, there's none. Now, between B and C, there's 2. So you'll see I put a 2 there. Okay? And then we've got, if I do C, C is not connected to A, but connected to B twice. And there's no 1 to itself. So there's another example. So it's always going to be a square. And if you have 2 paths, you put a number 2 there. All right. So here's an example. It says the diagram below shows the tracks directly linking P, Q, R and S in a national park. The shortest time it takes to walk between the camping sites along each of the tracks is shown. A matrix that could be used to represent the same information is. So what we want to do is you want to see between connecting. So because we want to put all the information, we're probably going to say between P and, like, if we look, let's have a look. We'll look between P and R, we see that there's a 50. So between P and R, if you look, I've got a 40 there, and between R and P, it's a 40. So is that one out? We're going to cross that one out. And is there another one? Between P and R we see a 50, and P and R we see 50. That one works. So I reckon I'm going to go with this, the answer. If, because they said in the minutes, so because the minutes are there, we'd have to have those minutes in the matrices, aren't we? Because they asked us to represent this data, or what does it show us? So you probably wouldn't do the ones, but they probably had a matrix with just the connections there, and that might have been, what would that might have been, Q or something, a D? Yeah, but I think that this answer, because we want the information, it would be this one. Okay, let's have a look at this one. With this one, a small city is divided into 4 regions, north, east, south and west, and the number of adult males and number of adult females living in each region in 2013 is shown in matrix V. So write down the order of matrix V. So what's our order, this one? How many rows? So it's a 4 by 2. Good. How many adults lived in the western region in 2013? Adult males. So you go down the males to the western region, and we're just typing out. So they're just testing you can read what a matrix is. And in terms of population of the city, what does the sum, now the word sum, what does that mean, boys? Yeah, it means plus. So in terms of the population of the city, what does the sum of the elements in the second column of matrix be? So sum means we're going to second column, here's the second column, and we'd add all them up. And in terms of the population, what's it telling us? It's asking what it represents. Yeah, so in terms of the population, if I added all them up, what does that represent in matrix V? The total females in the city, yeah? So we just write that's the total population of females. In this small city, yeah? It's just asking what it means, so you've got to interpret it.